Several of you had reached out to me if I was going to talk about any of the Labo City Exclusives fragrances since they are now made available for purchase at any retailer that sells Labo fragrances. Well, the only two that I personally own are Musc 25 and Benjoin 19. So in this video I'm going to talk to you about these two fragrances, but also I have some samples of other fragrances that you might be interested in from the City Exclusives of Labo fragrances. I've got samples of Tubereuse 40, Poivre 23, Mousse 30, Gaiac 10, and Aldehyde 44. So if you want to find out about these fragrances and learn a little bit about these two fragrances, as I really love them, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. Today we're talking about Labo City Exclusive fragrances, Musc 25 and Benjoin 19. But as I said, I have samples of a few other fragrances, and I'll tell you a few other fragrances that I really enjoy as well, as I've been wanting to pick them up. But I don't plan on buying any this month. I'm not sure. It might happen, but I don't know. As I don't have a Barney's nearby anymore, and they used to sell these City Exclusives along with the regular collection. Although the Nordstrom boutique now sells Labo, but I'm not sure if they have the City Exclusive. Most likely they do. But we do have a Labo boutique here which I can go to. It's a little far from me. Anyway, we're going to cover all these fragrances, prices, availability, and all that good stuff. But if this is your first time tuning into the channel and you still haven't subscribed to the channel, please do click the subscribe button below and also click the bell so that you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So Labo does City Exclusives promotion or deal every September where they have City Exclusives fragrances that you have to travel to buy. That's the only way you can buy these City Exclusive fragrances. They're also almost double the price of their regular prices. So they have these very, very special fragrances themed with this particular city. For example, Musc 25 is all about Los Angeles. Benjoin 19 is all about Moscow. So if you don't buy these in September when they're made available, any retailer that sells Labo City Exclusive fragrances, any other time of the year, you have to fly to Moscow to pick up Benjoin 19, and of course Los Angeles for Musc 25. Now, I actually did not want to buy this, but I wanted to buy it because I love the smell so much. I thought, you know what, I can always put it off because anytime they are, that I wanted to buy it, I can always go to LA because it's so close to me. But I loved it so much, I didn't buy it from the Los Angeles boutique. I actually bought it from Barney's here. But the Benjoin 19 I really also loved as well, but I thought, you know what, I don't plan on going to Moscow anytime soon. And this was purchased back in 2017, by the way. This one was 2018. So I decided to go with the Moscow Benjoin 19 because, I don't plan on going there. Sometimes you have to think, do I plan on traveling to these specific cities that these City Exclusives are fragrances for? And you think, okay, no. Now, a few of the other fragrances, Tubereuse is a New York City Exclusive, Poivre is a London City Exclusive, Mousse Chene is Amsterdam, Gaiac 10 is Tokyo, and Mousse Chene is Mousse Chene 30, and then Aldehyde 44 is Dallas. So I actually have smelled all these fragrances that I'm going to talk to you about. I haven't smelled some of the later ones like the Miami, the Tobacco, I believe. I can't remember what the name is, but there's also the Citron that came out for Seoul, Korea. There's some other new ones. I don't own them, and these are definitely pricey. $480 for 100 ml, and they are, as I said, City Exclusives. So outside of September, you can only buy them at that particular city that they have made the fragrance for. Now, there is one fragrance I do want to buy, but I've been waiting to go back to Paris to buy it. It's the Vanille 44, which is all about vanilla. And, Benjoin 19 and Vanille 44 are sort of similar to me. They kind of have a similar DNA. In fact, Labo has a very specific DNA, so I can kind of get the similarities. And Vanille 44 is definitely vanilla, but it's not necessarily a syrupy, gooey vanilla. It's more like a gummy, a little bit woody vanilla. Same with Benjoin. Now, Benjoin 19 smells excellent, and what's the deal with this one is, again, it's 100 ml 480. They do have a 50 ml bottle. They also have a 500 ml bottle, which is like around $1,800 plus tax. But who needs 500 ml, right? This is all about Olibanum, Benzoin, Cedar, Amber, Musk. And with this one, let me spray it. It's been a while since I've been wearing these fragrances, and I've done a video comparing. Well, actually, I did a video on Benjoin or Benzoin fragrances, and every time I smell this outside of the other fragrances, I absolutely love the smell. But when I connect it, or like I'm comparing it to others, there's a few others that I like more. But with this one, it's not necessarily a very sweet benzoin, whereas I love the sweetness of benzoin and the vanilla qualities. And even though you have those vanilla qualities here, it's very woody and slightly smoky. So the Olibanum note is a resin, which is very prominent here. So it contrasts with the sweetness of the benzoin. It is resinous, it is balsamic in the end, and it's got that slightly smoky quality running throughout it. It also, I mean, it feels like there's also a little bit of patchouli in here, because I kind of feel like it's in there. There's some sparkliness of the patchouli in here. But in the end, it's a very, very woody, resinous fragrance with slightly sweet touches of benzoin. It's not overly sweet. So when you're comparing it to something like, let's say, Bois d'Harmonie from Guerlain or Benjoin Bohème from Diptyque, those to me seem a little sweeter than this one. This to me goes into an oriental woody direction, and the other two are more like just oriental or oriental vanilla direction, if that makes sense. But in the end, it's a great scent for me. I bought it because I love it, and I love the whole benzoin thing. Benzoin is one of my favorite resins, and I like the fact that it is a sweeter resin, but in here it's not, they're not, you know, bringing out all its sweeter touches or qualities, or it's toned down with, you know, all the woody touches. They've toned it down with the cedar note. And of course, there is a slightly ambery quality in here as well. And of course, the smoky touch from the Olibanum, which makes this a great, great scent. It is very, very pricey though. And again, if you don't buy it now, which is currently sold at all Le Labo boutiques or any place that sells Le Labo fragrances, they should all have them. And it looks like they also sell the city exclusives online as well during the month of September. But once it's gone, you have to wait till next year to buy it at your local Le Labo boutique, or fly all the way to Moscow to get it, because there's no other way to get Moscow. Anyway, this is Benjoin 19, and it's the Moscow city exclusive from Le Labo. So the next one I want to talk to you about is Musc 25, and I fell in love with this one because I love musk. Musk is such a great fragrance to wear. There are some cozy qualities about musk, and just very, very sexy kind of a smell. And with this one, it's a contrasting kind of a smell. You've got these kind of like dark and I don't want to use the word dirty, but there are these kind of like dark and slightly animalistic qualities about the fragrance, and then also some cleanish qualities, because the fragrance to me is both a clean white musk and also an animalic musk together. And according to Le Labo's website, they're using a synthetic not musk, but they're using a synthetic civet note in here to give it that kind of like naughty kind of a musky kind of a quality to it, and it's very, very sexy, guys. It's one of those fragrances that is a little more reserved. I don't know if that's because it's inspired by LA, but there's something very angelic about it, and I think the angelic qualities of this fragrance is the parts where it's the clean musk, and of course the dirty parts are probably the devil. So I think that's what it is. And angelic, I think I read that and Angel, City of Angels, Los Angeles kind of thing. That's the inspiration with this fragrance. And I kind of see that. Angels are very pure and white, and this fragrance is like that. It is pure and white, but it does have a naughty side. It has a, you know, a kind of a sleazy side, and you kind of get both of those sides of this particular fragrance. But in the end, it's definitely a musk. It's very musky. It's also aldehydic. There are some ambergris touches in here, of course. Very, very contrasting notes, and I love that whole contrasting thing, because, you know, it's kind of like multiple personalities. You know, you've got a very like proper, clean person here, and then you got this like very dark, sleazy side of somebody that, you know, goes to work and works a white collar job during the day, and then at night they're completely a different person. And that's what's cool about this one. In the end, it's a musk. It's a very, very sexy musk, but it also sits close to the skin, but I think once people get close to you, they'll, you know, pick up that smell. That's really, really fantastic. Again, this is a city exclusive. It's a Los Angeles city exclusive. And if you're near Los Angeles, of course, you can go to that boutique and pick this up there. But if you're not, this is the only time you can pick it up during the city exclusive promotion that happens every September. And I've only bought these because of the city exclusives, the promotions that they do in September. The Benjoin 19 was in, when did I buy it? In September 2017, and Musc 25 in September of 2018 is when I bought them. And I really love these two fragrances. They're great. There are some great fragrances in the collection, and now I want to go over some of the other fragrances. Let's try Mousse de Chene. In fact, I actually have a review on the channel of Mousse de Chene. You can go catch that review. But Mousse de Chene is basically oak moss, basically, is what it is. And this is Mousse de Chene 30, and it is the Amsterdam city exclusive. For me, it's definitely a different take on oak moss or Mousse de Chene. For me, it does go into a woody direction, almost like cedar or sandalwood together kind of a thing. So it does have these greenish qualities, but it also is very, very woody. Not floral at all, but it has kind of like clean and musky qualities in the end with the Mousse de Chene. So that's my particular thought on this one, but I do, as I said, have a full review on the channel. You can go check that out. But for me, it doesn't smell like a chypre fragrance, which oak moss is, or Mousse de Chene is typically used in. Even though I think this is a definite chypre, it has different stylings to it that I'm picking up with the smell. So I have not bought this one. It's not one of my favorites. It's nice, it's a pleasant scent, but it's not one that I would rush out to get. And again, it's Mousse de Chene, it's oak moss, so I don't know if they're using traditional oak moss, probably synthetic, most likely, or a combination of both. In the end, it's a nice scent. It's not one that I would rush out to own. And this is Mousse de Chene 30. It's this Amsterdam city exclusive. Let's try one more. We're gonna do Tubereuse 40, which is from New York City. These are from last year I had received from Barney's. So Tubereuse 40, for me, it's a tuberose obviously, but it's a very laundry clean, fresh tuberose. Almost like it's tuberose with neroli or orange blossom. You know, orange blossom, neroli kind of goes into that clean, soapy direction. So I feel like there's an equal amount of like neroli with the tuberose or orange blossom, and that's what it smells like. For me, it's more like neroli with tuberose rather than orange blossom, because I get a very neroli kind of a smell in here with the tuberose. I mean, it could be both orange blossom or neroli, but it's got very green qualities. It's almost like it's a very young tuberose. It hasn't bloomed much, where it has a very, very potent smell. That's what I'm picking up with this particular floral fragrance. And in fact, I really like this one. I would actually own it, but I wouldn't buy it as a city exclusive, because there are some fragrances that I want to buy from city exclusives that I might not travel to the cities that they're city exclusives for. So I would probably buy those first, and I would probably wait if I really, really wanted to buy Tubereuse 40 from Labo, and perhaps I was in New York City, I would buy it there, if that makes sense. That's kind of what I was going to do with Musc 25, but in the end I bought it because, you know, I just couldn't resist the smell. So here we have Aldehyde 44. This is a Dallas city exclusive, and I smelled this when it was first put out in Dallas in 2017 at the Labo boutique there. And I really like this one. It's very clean, it's very happy, fizzy. That's the typical thing with aldehydes. It just has a very bright, uplifting, bubbly kind of a personality is what I should say, because that's the kind of fragrance this is. It smells laundry fresh, it smells laundry clean, just a very, very clean, like a crisp white shirt that you would wear, like freshly laundered. It has some kind of a scent to it that you haven't worn yet, you know, when you've just taken it off the rack or something, or the hanger, and you put it on, and you've kind of like got a musky, soapy kind of a smell to it, because there's this major soapy component about this. But you know what? I feel like there is some clean white musk in this as well, and I actually really, really love Aldehyde 44. Aldehydes are some of my favorite favorite smells, and it's just, there's something about aldehydes that's just very uplifting and happy. And happy fragrances now are perfect because with a lot of the crap that's going on in the world, we need some happy in the end. So we have Gaiac 10 here for Tokyo, and Tokyo is a city I definitely want to travel to one of these days, but not anytime soon. And I kind of like this one actually. So Gaiac 10 to me has some black peppery qualities, not a lot, a little bit, but it also has these kind of like gummy qualities as well. It's definitely Gaiac wood, so there's a smooth creaminess about this particular wood, but it does have a little bit of chunks of wood in there as well that's not the creamy smooth quality, but there are some spices in there and some musky touches as well. And again, when I smell these fragrances, Le Labo's DNA just totally comes through. It's just like they have a DNA, you can totally spot it. You've got to have your nose a little, like you've got to have smelled every single fragrance, because the Musk and the Benjoin, they do have this DNA that you can kind of like tell. And as I'm smelling these fragrances, the Gaiac for sure, not the Tubereuse, not the Aldehyde, the Gaiac for sure kind of fits into the kind of like the DNA of all those fragrances. Last sample is the Poivre for the London, and this one I remember smelling, and I wasn't really a big fan of it because it was like overload or overdose of black pepper. But in here, there's a vanillic touch, definitely vanillic, and also feels like there's a little bit of resins in here as well. It's definitely a thick fragrance, spicy for sure with the black pepper. There might be other peppers in there as well, but just a kind of a fusion of spicy notes of pepper or black pepper with vanilla, and there's some woody touches in there as well. In the end, that fragrance really has a depth to it. Doesn't have this brightness about it, so there's some darker tones with the woodiness and makes it for like a more of a winter fragrance, whereas that Tubereuse, the Aldehydes, it's so bright and it's so uplifting that it's more like a spring summer kind of a fragrance. Anyway, those are my thoughts on these fragrances. There's a lot more out there. Vanille 44 is the one that I've been wanting to get, but now that I've re-smelled all these fragrances, the Dallas Aldehyde 44 is really a wonderful fragrance. It's just a very uplifting, fizzy, bubbly, like champagne bubbles kind of a fizziness, which is really great. So let me know your thoughts on these city exclusives. In general, let me know if you're a fan of Le Labo and would you like to see more Le Labo fragrances reviews on the channel. Again, these are the only two that I own currently, Musc 25 and Benjoin 19 from the city exclusive collection, but I have several other Le Labo fragrances in the collection, and I enjoy this house. I actually really do. I like their whole you know, branding. I like that they focus on a note and then they build on it. And again, I forgot to mention one thing, the numbers. If you don't know what the numbers stand for in the names, it's how many notes they use to create this fragrance. So 19, Benjoin 19. I don't know how true this is. This is what they've said. Benjoin 19 has 19 notes to create this fragrance. Aldehyde 44 has 44 notes. Anyway, I don't know how true that is, as I said, but that's what it's supposed to mean. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. Let me know if you like this house. Let me know if you like these fragrances or any of the samples I sampled for you today. Please put a comment down so I can find out. Other than that, thanks so much for watching. Please do like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.